All right, Jovan, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast, the founder of Bounty Hunter. For those of you that may not know you, do you want to give a brief introduction of yourself?
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. And I'm very happy to be a guest on your podcast. And I want, first of all, to support all the people who building something, build businesses to always keep pushing. I'm Jovan, founder of the Bounty Hunter agency, and I recently sold the agency via acquire.com. I had a very positive experience with the whole process from the initial listing of the business through the due diligence and the final closing. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, Jovan, I'm excited to learn more about your whole journey, but let's start at the top. I want to hear what motivated you to start Bounty Hunter and
Yeah.
where did you get started? And just maybe we can go there and we'll walk all the way through the acquisition.
Yeah, cool. I'm I'm coming from like service business. I this is not my first agency. I'm I started my first travel agency in 2015 with a co-founder, and I actually leave this business after 9 months or 10 months. And there I learned one of the lessons about like co-founders and co-founding. So I'm coming more from this like a service business rather than like product businesses. And I think that people will all the service businesses always be required because people actually need services and need like a better experience, consultancy, etc., etc. So this is my background. And after 2015, when I leave this co-founded travel agency, I started like new business, which is some sort of like a portal. And actually, this is my first like business that I sold. I have no employees, etc., etc. I'm the only one who been employed there, and I sold like successfully this business to some domestic company. This is a very small acquisition, and after that, I was employed and worked as a consultant. And I decided in 2022 to start an agency who is that is strictly focused on the B2B SaaS vertical, because I noticed that there is like a huge demand. This industry B2B SaaS is like growing rapidly, and there is a very shortage of people with a true experience in terms of the customer acquisition, customer retention, digital analytics, etc., etc. So I started like to fill the I wanted to fill this gap and to provide very comprehensive services for a B2B SaaS companies. So I started in August 2020, like already like 4 years ago, and the journey was like a real it was a real journey. First, we, as every like young agency, we worked with early stage B2B SaaS companies, the companies with a product market fit, but in very early stages. And we did various things for these companies, from like market research, running the SEO campaigns, paid ad campaigns, doing a customer support, doing in product analysis, all of this stuff like in-house marketing team. And that leads me to, let's say, to something to build like tailor-made solutions for B2B SaaS companies. And our agency was run more like a boutique agency, which that means we uh, offer a really comprehensive sort of services for B2B SaaS companies, which means for some companies we did like a paid marketing and the customer acquisitions, while for some other companies we work a lot on the product adoption strategies, feature adoptions, user onboarding, etc., etc. So long story short, we started 2020, and I decided like to sell the business in late 2023, and this is where we are right now.
Awesome. I like marketing agencies because I would say I'm a marketer by trade. And
Yeah,
so I enjoy everything that you just mentioned. I don't know if others do, but
yeah.
okay. So you built the agency, you have a lot of happy customers. What motivated you to sell the agency and think about getting acquired?
Yeah. Actually, the main reason for selling this agency is try to like this is was not the typical acquisition and typical exit, which means I stay within the company who acquired my company. So I my intention there was like to grow this book of business more. Okay, and this acquisition was more strategic acquisition and not solely like some financial and so on acquisition. So what motivates me is couple of factors. The first factor is like we built something great, but I like in every business I noticed that I need more support in like from the like this back support in terms of the better logistics, better operations, and so on. And I noticed that if I go with this pace, okay, definitely it will takes me like more years to build something and stand out. So I really wanted to like short that cycle, and to maybe not to grow faster, but to like do something more strategic wise rather than like typical like financial wise. So my acquisition of my agency, as I said, is more like a strategic acquisition, which is like some sort of the merger of another agency that has the B2B SaaS vertical clients there. So we bring our expertise, our people expertise, process expertise, and all of these various things for that agency to like provide a better, better experience and better results for their clients, and also keep our clients within the umbrella of that agency. So also there was some sort, I will be honest, of like plateau. That means we reached some momentum, and I feel me as a founder and the rest of my team are in the good momentum to be the part of some larger structure and fit into this structure, because with the previous model we go like a very slow, because what we did actually, we really tailored our services, our approach, and everything for a client, which is not the most scalable way to grow your agency, because the more time you invest, you have a less time to allocate for other clients, etc., etc. So either you should increase the price of your service, and reduce the number of clients, or maybe jeopardize your service. And I didn't want it like to go in any of these two. I really wanted to keep like the quality of service, the quality of strategy at the same level. I
Those are
hope I
all
explained this like well. Yeah.
No, you definitely did. Those are all great reasons to sell. I mean, to be a part of something bigger, to have more resources, to continue growing your business. That's a very
Yeah.
common reason and a very smart reason, in my opinion. So I have a question here. So
Yeah.
you decide to sell, you have a great business on your hands. What was it like when you first listed on acquire.com? Did we meet your expectations? Were you surprised when so many buyers reached out? What was your expectation for the first week and what happened?
Yeah. I will be honest, really honest with you. I didn't expect this amount of like requests, which means I've been prepared, which means I before I listed, I wanted like to provide a good experience for people. So that means I'm aware that they will see my listing, but they will request more information. So I like also design the journey when someone requests to see my agency to provide more information with additional deck, to ask some questions, etc., etc. But to be honest, I didn't expect this amount of like, especially when I listed within the first 2 or 3 weeks, this amount of like requests to sign the NDA, to see more, to hear more. And within the like first 2 or 3 weeks, I don't remember. I think I've been with, I don't know, on maybe 4 to 5 serious calls with the prospective buyers. And to be honest, I didn't expect that, because I know that people are not, I know, but I was thinking that people are more interested in the product businesses such as SaaS, softwares, marketplaces, and so on. And this is like a service business, but I didn't expect like this amount of like requests. And what also surprised me is the quality of the requests. That means the people that really read everything, my listing, and really understand what it is, and really like approach with me like, okay, we see there is something great, and we want to talk, seriously about this. So I can say that within the first week, the experience was like I didn't expect the amount of the request and as well this quality of request. So yeah.
That's great to hear. I mean, our main focus is definitely SaaS companies, but we have a large buyer network that is interested in agencies like yours.
Mhm.
So I'm not too surprised. But in terms of preparing for the acquisition, did you work with anyone on
Mhm.
the Acquire.com team, or did you prepare anything in advance before you went live on the marketplace?
Uh, yeah, actually, what I did, like I get in touch with the people who already did this, like from my personal network and so on. Regarding to where the acquire.com support and people really helped me was in the due diligence phase and contract and phases, like more deeper phases of negotiation or selling the business. But I can say and suggest for all the people who want to list their business on Acquire or to sell someone else is to really like prepare, like get really prepared. Where Acquire.com helped me is actual your resources, your blog posts, your templates, etc., etc. So I read a lot about some. Some things that I didn't know previously, like what is the I don't know, asset purchase agreements, what are the, other types of agreements, how the due diligence goes usually, etc., etc. So your resources, I can say, on the blog and on your website really help me, and video resources to gain a better picture or how everything goes and to predict some steps.
Nice. Yeah, full credit to the Acquire team for creating all that. I'm glad it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
helpful.
great. Yeah, great content. Even I like some people have sent me the content, Uh, I search for some content on your website, but also when I search on the Google, your content like really ranks higher. So I see your content organically, which definitely says that yeah, like your content is useful because Google will not favorize this content. Yeah.
Glad to hear it. So you list on the marketplace. Again, you have a great
Yep.
business, you're prepared to meet with buyers, and you end up
Yep.
getting a lot of buyer requests, it sounds like, for your business. How did you determine the buyer that you ended up selling your business to was the right
Yep.
buyer to work with? Did they stand
Yeah. This is.
out? Did you guys get along?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah, this is the great question. So I can say that in this like a process of getting in the relation first, like earlier relationship with the buyers, I didn't follow like the common practices. What does it mean? So like get more people like to negotiate with how you can secure a better price. All of this like negotiate stuff. What I really looked for is first thing whether someone really like read what I said in my listing. So what is my like current challenges, what I want to achieve with an acquisition, etc., etc. That was my first criteria, and the second criteria was a culture fit, which is in this like strategic M&A merger and acquisitions very important. So I looked for like these factors, and the thing is that the buyer that acquired my agency was the person in this like let's say first cycle. So the person who that I get in touch in very early stages. For example, I listed on Acquire maybe in November, and I had a first meeting with the buyer of BountyHunter in early December. And I did have some other requests after that. So my journey wasn't that like when I was in touch with the buyer in like the first touch with the buyer until we get into some serious stage when the official like NDA is active. There was a people that still like came through me and requesting and wanted to get on a call with me, but I said to them really transparently, look, I'm in the really serious conversation right now with a prospective buyer, and we are really deep into this. My like let's say my listing is just open because we didn't like do these things that we are under the due diligence because we didn't like follow maybe the acquire.com system to press this due diligence button because we was very like both sides was very maybe busy with this. So let's say I didn't follow this like usual practices. That means when I identified, okay, I see the fit, this is the right buyer for me, and these buyers see something else, see the same thing from his side. I really try to stick with this buyer along the journey, and it seems that like that pays off.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, when you write down, what you're specifically looking for out of a buyer, like you're clear about why you're
Yeah,
selling, what you're looking for, and you meet a buyer that matches
yeah,
that, that's a great reason to sell to that specific buyer. So well done. So now I'm wondering,
yeah.
you meet the
Mhm.
buyer, you start to enter due diligence. How did that go? How was due diligence? How long did it last? Was there anything that
Yeah.
was maybe bumpy or was it smooth? How'd it go?
Yeah, the how I'm looking into as I said, this is not just financial moment, and I think the people that also should look at this, it is what else the buyer or investor, uh, if you will stay within the company, will bring with himself. So it is you should not look just at this financial perspective. Also, if there is experience, some additional logistics systems, etc., etc. I have a luck that I get in touch with very experienced buyer, and my journey was they were also in the process of acquiring another agency, so they in parallel was acquiring like two agencies, and I was lucky enough that I get in touch with very experienced buyer, that person who knows what wants, how to run the business, etc., etc. And I think this is very important. If you build some asset uh, and you want this asset, no matter if you do an exit or stay within the business, to continue like to grow, to you know to exist.
Yeah.
And I had a luck that I had a very experienced buyer, and also other people that reach out to me that I like refused or said, okay, right now I'm in really deep negotiation process. I feel that those buyers was also experienced by the questions they are asking, etc., etc. So I can say that like the community, or how we can call the people who are buying the business there on acquire.com, it's like quite good. It is like a quality people, not someone who is like have the eyeballs and see, okay, this business, I want to acquire this business. They really know the purpose of the acquisition. So yeah, that's a long story short, I think,
Nice.
about my yeah.
Nice. I'm glad it worked out. And then, so you go through due
Mhm.
diligence, you start to head towards close. Did you guys agree
Yep.
to any sort of transition period, or you were going to stay on the business, or did you leave the business right away? Are you still working at the business? What did that look like?
Yes, yes. Yeah, yeah. This is one of my actually. This is not the usual way, but I like strictly like outlined in my listing in description that I'm willing to stay within the business at least 8 months, uh, at least to build this business, like to continue and to transfer the knowledge, the expertise, the processes, etc., etc. And this is like. Like very good because the buyer like actually read this, and like he saw that, okay, this is with my long-term goals as well. And what is what how the due diligence went, or everything, timeline, etc., etc. I think we've been in a couple of months in the process of setting up the proper timeline, transition period, etc., etc. And I think that their momentum is really important, which means when you are doing some like strategic acquisitions or strategic mergers, I think the momentum is really important on like how the things will happen and when the things will happen. So it seems that both sides search for this perfect momentum, because the moment that after 4 or 5 months, so that was like this is a six-figure deal, okay? And I sold some stories that some people for 7 figures, 8 figures sold their like businesses within the much shorter time frame. But as I said, this is like every business and every acquisition. has like their own life cycle, their own like nurture of the things, etc., etc. So I think you should be really focused when you're selling something, focus like on your acquisition of like the things that are happening like within your acquisition, not necessarily follow this like a best practices, and because use cases can be different for each business. Yeah, we've been in like a 4 to 5 months in this sort of not just negotiation, but setting up the timelines, due diligences, how we will transfer the assets, etc., etc. And actually, after 4 months, we've finished like all the transferring, etc., etc., within the 2 weeks. So yeah.
Good to hear. And so when
Yeah.
it comes to transitions, I see all types in terms of length and, are you staying with the business? Are you exiting the business? Are you only doing part-time, full-time?
Yeah.
And typically, surprisingly, having stayed on with the company that acquired your business is pretty common for 3, sometimes as long as 2 years, depending on the size of the acquisition. So good
Yeah.
job negotiating that too, because it can help you find the right type of buyer or align what you're looking to accomplish during the acquisition with the buyer. So it also de-risks acquisition as well. So a buyer is more confident, maybe agreeing to your terms or the price of the acquisition if they know that you're going to be around to help with the transition and, like you said, the knowledge transfer to make sure that everything stays intact. So nice job on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I think this is uh, really important because this like transparency and everything is really important to be like from the day one really transparent with the partner or whatever, with the buyer. And I think you can be transparent of just when you are 100% like sure that you know what you want, and if you are not sure of what you want, the other side like will notice this sooner or later, and also you will get confused, especially when you are selling for a first time. This is my first time I'm selling business, so I really jumped into the like something new. I didn't know like almost anything about this, and I learned a lot during this journey. But I really want to encourage people to like stick into this essential basis of the like be focused on your business, on your acquisition. There is a different use cases, different people, because also people will like search for some advice, people who did this previously. And but as I said, every use case is different, and I think like doing an acquisition and staying within the business for some time or for a longer period of time is actually mutual win-win. So I'm looking at like always like in a win-win world is most commonly will pay offs for both sides on the long run.
Yeah, that's great advice. And I guess for my next question, you've given a lot
Yeah.
of great advice during this discussion, but if you had to give maybe 2, 3 pieces of advice to yourself or another entrepreneur looking to sell your business, what do you think that'd be?
Yeah. Mhm. Okay. So as I said, I'm repeating this right now is like when you want to sell the business, you should be like 100% there. No matter if you will exit after this or stay within the business after acquisition, because selling the business is not an easy job. And if you are like not 100% there, maybe you will, make some mistake, and then maybe will not go into the way that you want or imagine it. So this is my first thing. The second thing is there is like a lot of course, product businesses are are like more, let's say, attractive rather than the service businesses. I think it really depends the of the type, the person who you are, but more people are going like thinking of like we will build some product. This product will work after 1 year from themselves. We will sit down and just wait for money to go. And I think that no matter if it's a product business or service business, it's very important for you to be in the business and to try to understand your business. And if you want to sell your business, that means you really need to understand your business from each perspective, how your business fit into the market, how, who is your customer persona, how you deliver your service, or how you, build your product. I think this is very important to be like 100% in your business. And I think I have no other advices except like just be there and be very like don't believe in yourself, believe in your capabilities, in your knowledge and everything that you have, and always try to play on the long run.
Yeah, that's good advice. And I think what I really like about this conversation is how you outline what you specifically want from an acquisition, because a lot of entrepreneurs don't do that. What they do is they
Yeah,
let the buyer dictate the terms or the price or the transition period. And being really, really clear about what you want out of the acquisition is going to be obviously the fastest way for you to find a buyer that agrees with that and will go with an acquisition that aligns with the valuation terms, whatever may be most important to you. So it's really good.
yeah. I think this is, as I said, very important. Like when because there is like the trending things, and the things are like that there is a buzz, like selling the businesses, etc. And most people are come, okay, we hear some other great story, and maybe they have a really good business, very good potential within the business to build on the long run, but they are attracted with this hype, and they just go and want to sell without like any preparation for it. But and I think you should be prepared, and as you repeated and said, like you really need to state what you want out of this, because other side will recognize this, and definitely
No, it's the truth, and I've seen
yeah,
it a number of times in acquisitions, so can't
yeah,
agree
yeah.
more. So as we wrap up this interview, Jovan, is there any, I guess my last question would be, you closed the acquisition, it sounds like everything went great. Uh,
Yeah.
what are you working on next?
Building. Yeah.
All
So,
right.
yeah, building. I personally like the building the stuff. So, I will work on building more strategies within this new book of business, in this new business. So this is where I will be focused on, try to expand further, because we did, like, as I said, strategic acquisition, expand the current business, expand everything in this new environment, and definitely provide better services, better strategy for a B2B SaaS clients, but like within the different brand name.
Great to hear. Well, Jovan, if people want to reach out to you or learn more about your story, where can they find you online?
Yeah, of course, LinkedIn is there. So my first name and surname is not that common. So Jovan Meljevic or Miljevic, however. So LinkedIn, and I think this will be the main source, because I'm mostly active on the LinkedIn.
Sounds good. I'll be sure to put that in the show notes. Well, Jovan, thanks again for joining the podcast, and huge congrats on the acquisition.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. It was a really great experience within the acquire.com, and I will definitely recommend to everyone who is thinking about selling the businesses to visit your website, learn from your resources and everything, and definitely a place to be.
Right to hear. All right, cheers, Jovan.
Bye bye.